Tall's Fresh Country, 101.5 The Eagle. This is The Stubbs Show.
Movie G-Force with Tracy
I haven't
Morgan?
seen it yet.
Oh.
I haven't seen it. An ex-girlfriend of mine who's a casting director just cast Tracy in a movie with Bruce Willis. They play police officers. The movie is called A Couple of Dicks, and it's coming out at the end of this year. It's a Kevin Smith movie. And Tracy's getting a lot of work. And, I mean, it came right in time because Tracy is nutty.
Yeah.
Have you ever met Tracy?
No, I haven't, but I've read about it.
That dude, I used to write for Weekend Update at Saturday Night Live. And the first time I met Tracy, I walk up to him and I go, Tracy! Hey man, my name's Craig. I'm a comedian. I write for Colin down the hall. And I just want to tell you, you are my favorite comedian on this show. I think you're the funniest cast member on the show. And Tracy just went, yeah! That's crazy! So you're a comedian, right? And I go, yeah. And he goes, so what are you doing on Friday? And I go, Friday? Yeah, next Friday! And I go, oh, I don't know, why? And he goes, you're going to open up for me at the New York Comedy Club. That's your job. And I was like, are you serious? Oh my God. I would, oh, that's awesome. And so, and at this time in my life, there's nothing going on in my life. I got a writing gig. I'm trying to get gigs. So this was a big deal at the time. And I planned my whole week around opening for Tracy Morgan on Friday. I tell all my friends about it, try to get everybody to come out and watch. And I go and I do the show. And after the show, Tracy Morgan's sitting at the bar. And he goes, Craig, what you drinking? And I go, oh, can I get a Corona, please? He goes, of course. So how you like this? And I go, this comedy club? He goes, no, how you like stand-up comedy? And I go, oh, I love comedy. And he goes, you got to be like Bruce Lee in the 6-foot kick. And I go, what? And he goes, you don't know about Bruce Lee? They say when Bruce Lee kick you, you go back 6 feet. That's why when people are like, Tracy, how you living? I'm like, I'm 6-foot kicking it. You got a 6-foot kick your way through life. That's the way you got to approach your life. You got a 6-foot kick. And he actually got nose to nose with me, and spit was flying out of his mouth into my eyeball, and I go, what are we talking about? I don't know what you're talking about. I mentioned it to my friend Kurt Metzger, who's a writer. Well, now he's got his own Comedy Central special, but at the time he was writing for the Chappelle Show. And Kurt goes, dude, I was in a car with Tracy 3 weeks ago, and I told him, I go, hey, Chappelle Show just got picked up for a second season, so that's pretty cool. Now keep in mind, they're on the West Side Highway in New York. Tracy flips out and goes, what's wrong with you, Kurt? You bringing that up? And he slams the brakes, pulls the car over the side of the highway and go, what are we in right now, Kurt? Me and you, what are we in right now? What are we in? And he goes, a car? No, we in show business, Kurt. We in show business. How many letters in the word show? And he goes, 4. How many letters in the word business, Kurt? And he goes, 8? Don't you forget that, Kurt. And he goes, what the hell just happened? You're yelling at me, and I don't know. There's 4 in show and 8 in business. I don't know what's going on. But yeah, Tracy, certifiable. He's hilarious, but he's just a nut. He's a total nut.
So how long did you work on SNL?
I wrote from October of '98 till May of 2000 as a contributing writer to Colin Quinn, who's doing Weekend Update. I was one of anywhere from 15 to 25 contributing writers at the time. Colin was...
Now, how'd you like Colin?
Colin is, and has the reputation for being the nicest guy in all of stand-up. He's a prince. He's so... I mean, even when he left Saturday Night Live, I don't know if he got fired or if he left, he knew that I really wanted to be a cast member. And he said, if you want, I'll talk to somebody, in his own Colin way. I mean, come on, folks. I used to be able to do a really good Colin.
I love Colin. He's one of my favorites.
It really?
I love Colin.
Well, then let me tell you a story. As a comedian, you will love this story.
Let's hear it.
I went to watch a benefit show at Carnegie Hall about a month after the attacks on New York City. There was a benefit show for the firefighters, the families of the firefighters, Port Authority families. And the show at Carnegie Hall was, this is the lineup, Bill Cosby, Jerry Seinfeld, Chris Rock, Will Ferrell was the MC, Chris Tucker, and Rudy Giuliani started the show.
Right.
And Colin Quinn was the opening act. And Colin stole the show because he was the only guy that talked about September 11th. Everybody else avoided it,
Uh-huh.
and Colin Quinn had brilliant material. He goes, you got any of these friends that they tried to put themselves in the September 11th and try to put themselves in the situation they weren't even part of it. They go, if I was on the N train that morning, I wouldn't even be here. Do you ever take the N train? No, I don't. But I wouldn't even be here. He's also got this great line that I love. He goes, you got these. He goes, I got a doorman at my building that is one of those guys that whispers the parts that you could say out loud, but yells out loud the stuff you should be whispering. He'll come to me and go, Colin, come here. What do you think about this Michael Jackson guy? And I go, I don't know. I mean, these accusations, who knows? He goes, you know what somebody needs to do? Somebody needs to tell him, hey, you gotta stop touching these kids! Because everyone on the street's looking at me, and I go, all right, let's take it easy. Yeah, but I'll tell you, Colin, what time you think Bed Bath & Beyond is open till? Probably 9 o'clock. Yeah, you think? 9 o'clock? Hey, someone's gonna tell Michael Jackson, hey! You keep your hands off these kids! Yeah, I love Colin Quinn, but...
So what was it like working on SNL? I heard it was crazy and chaotic and a really difficult place to work.
On that floor is every comedian, every agent who wants to be in there. And then there's celebrities. Whoever the hottest celebrities are at the time, they're all just kind of floating around on that floor. And it's an environment that is set up for people to kill each other, the comedians. Lorne, from what I've heard, encourages people to kill each other. I should point out that I'm in contacts with Saturday Night Live right now. Okay.
So but it's extremely competitive.
Yeah, it's very competitive, and they are they encourage. Okay, everyone who I know who's been a cast member said that every Tuesday they have a pitch meeting. They introduce the host that's going to work that week to the cast, and every cast member and every writer is responsible for pitching one show idea at that meeting, and everyone says that the idea of succeeding in this meeting is to not laugh at all at anybody else's ideas. And
so they stonewall you.
So they stonewall you, and then there's a saying that if I laugh at Keith's idea, I'm laughing myself right off the show on Saturday. So everyone just stares at you, no matter how strong your idea may be, and nobody wants you to succeed.
And you were in those meetings?
I never went to those meetings, so I was a contributing writer.
Okay.
But who knows? Maybe I don't know. It's kind of weird because I always wanted to be on the show, and now that I'm talking to them, I don't know if I want to be on the show because I got, I don't know. We'll see what happens. But it is a place that if you do voices, obviously that's where you want to be.
Right.
But I was at the last show a couple weeks ago, the last show of the season. And one of my favorite comedians was there, Norm Macdonald, and I saw him, and every time I see him, he goes, "Hey, this guy with his voices, this guy. Hey, I do your impressions." And then I go, "Hey, I do an impression of you too." And he goes, "I don't want to hear that." I go, "Oh, you sound like a moron." Doing the voices, man, doing the funny stuff. I got a great story about being at the Laugh Factory once. It was a Tuesday night, and the lineup was myself, Jay Davis, Dane Cook, and Dave Attell. It's a fun show, a great lineup. And then this is a month after the whole thing went down with the guy who played Kramer on Seinfeld, all that crazy incident. Michael Richards. And so Jeff Ross shows up, and they say, well, let's put him on stage. And then Bill Engvall shows up, and they go, let's put him on stage. And then Cat Williams shows up, and they go, let's put him on stage. And then Norm Macdonald showed up. It was the most amazing lineup.
Right.
And I go up to Norm Macdonald, and I go, Norm, are you going on next? And he goes, Yeah, I want to, but they want to put the black guy up, but I don't want to say anything, because it's the Laugh Factory. Norm is the best. But, so here's the show. Is this Friday and Saturday? There's a lot of, obviously, impressions, a lot of funny stories. Some are dirty. All of them are dirty. All right, so, but they're funny. And if you like dirty jokes, you're not easily offended, you should come to the Wise Guys Club out in West Valley. It's going to be a lot of fun. And if you're a fan of Sex and the City or King of Queens, you'll definitely recognize my face.
Do you meet and greet after the show? Do you
of course, I hang out.
Some comics, I'm telling you, Craig, they just go into the green room and disappear.
I love people. That's the thing that separates me from, I think, a lot of comedians. I love hanging out with people, and I love hearing stories, or even when I checked into the hotel where I'm staying at, I started making small talk with the girls that work at the hotel, and I was like, "Hey, what's the like craziest thing you've ever heard about happening in one of your hotel rooms?" Like, I love hearing like stories about your life and like crazy stuff that you've seen. But I love people. I just, I'm coming from a much different place than I think most comedians are.
I believe you are too, because I know a ton of them too.
And they're weird, man.
No, you're right about that.
Well,
Craig Gass at Wise Guys West Valley City. We'll have more with Craig tomorrow and on Friday. And I'm going to be out there with my thing on my nose. My wife. You know what the problem is? My wife wants to go see you. I want to see you,
awesome.
Craig, but my wife's going, I gotta go see. I can't wait to go see Craig Gass. Like, what are you trying to say?
Is your wife a Sex and the City fan, isn't she?
Yes, and she's also from Seattle, and of course she's seen all your videos and stuff.
Yeah.
So don't miss Craig Gass. Check out wiseguyscomedy.com for all the details.
And the character I played on Sex and the City, for anyone who's trying to figure it out, I dated Miranda, and I did something really dirty on the show. I was Miranda's Weight Watchers boyfriend. So if you know the show, you know what I did. I did something really
Do you know
awful.
that one?
I know that one.
Yeah, I did something very awful.
Thanks, Craig.
All right, thank you, man. I'll see you at Wise Guys this
Carly,
weekend.
how's it going?